And this side in pink win the story of Group D so far. 2 games, 2 wins, and a home crowd that's carried them every step of the way. Organized at the back, sharp in transition, and with match winners up front. And they know that just 1 point tonight will see them through. And ITBP have shown they belong to this level. Unbeaten as well, with a spirited debut campaign. But they arrive here knowing that only victory will keep their Durand Cup dream alive, and expect them to press high, play with urgency, and take their chances when they come. The guests in attendance to grace the occasion, Brigadier Akshay Kapoor, Commander in Victor's Brigade, in the company of Colonel Anupam Sharma and Shri Pramod Boro, Honorable CEM, Shri Bishwajit Daimari, Speaker, Assam Legislative Assembly, and Colonel Siddharth Singh, Nodal Officer, getting introduced to the players. What a wonderful setting here. They have a very potent front line, Bodoland FC, and on the flip side, ITBP are resolute in defense. We have a wonderful game in prospect here, Brad.
Yeah, I think that's really sets it up nicely. It's cool conditions in the evening. Obviously, at the full house. I think you should see some really attacking play. I mean, both these sides so far, Bodoland have really gone for it. I think the biggest surprise in this group, obviously, has been the results of the ISL team, Punjab, who came here with a youthful-looking side without any of their foreign players. And I think for Bodoland, the difference has been the local talent has been really impressive in the games, and I think they've unearthed some really good foreign players who look to be on loan or from some I-League teams or on trial for some I-League teams. They certainly really pulling their socks up in this tournament. The likes of Pedro and Robinson, who obviously a lot more with the I-League bid. Be the difference makers for Bodoland tonight.
All 4 of them on loan from Rajasthan United. They've added great depth into this Bodoland FC side. They've managed to score 3 goals in 2 games. But if you bring it down to numbers, in terms of conceding, both have conceded 1 goal each. The referee in charge is Harish Kundu, assisted by Alim Basha and Mukesh Dutt, and the 4th official is Jarvish Makwan. The 2 captains will join them for the toss of the coin. One last frame of unity before it all breaks into fierce competition, Brad.
Yes, there's not going to be a friendly encounter between these 2 sides. I think we've seen the way Bodoland have approached the game. I think they give it their all, and a really good encounter against Kabian Long, where they came from a goal down to get back into the game 2-1. As obviously ITBP in their opening game against Kabian Long. So both these sides, even if they go a goal down, heads don't drop, capable of launching comebacks. And I think what's really impressive is how well both of them played and kept clean sheets against Punjab side, where they had to absorb a lot of pressure in both those games and could have gone down a goal, but they sort of grew into the game and didn't let that affect them, that they were playing a side that's on paper superior.
Bodoland FC making just 1 change from that 1-0 win over Punjab FC. Manapir Basumatari makes way for Urjay at left back, and the rest of the side remains untouched from Vikash Pandey.
Yeah, and ITBP going with a similar formation that's got them to this stage, solid back 4 and 3 in front. And then the difference is going to be Hemraj obviously provided them with a goal early on. They're going to be looking for him to again lead the attack. And what's been impressive is this sort of front 3 in terms of how they work up front and put pressure on the opposition defence. So it should be the really good sort of high-speed encounter between these 2 sides.
Certain names on the bench, especially the likes of Arjun Mardi, can come on and become the point of the games tonight. Now the 5 words from the captains, and the 2 circles tighten arm over shoulder, and one last rally cry before the battle begins. From the heart of Kokrajhar, where the monsoon air hangs heavy with hope, the Sai Stadium stands in full voice, a stage draped with destiny. For Durand FC, this is more than a game. It is the doorway to tomorrow. And for ITBP, new to this ancient tournament, it is the chance to etch a first chapter in bold ink. 90 minutes will write their fate, in glory, in heartbreak, or somewhere in between. And under these lights, amid the drums and colors, two teams ready to chase a place in history. Aggressive start from ITBP FT. They cannot settle for anything less than 3 points tonight. And says the head coach looking on intently, Vikash Panthi, calm, composed, a silent architect, weaving the fate of this team from the touchline. Every glance a message sent across the pitch, a beacon of belief in this defining night, Brad.
As we can see early on, we just talked about the way the ITBP are going to press. In this occasion, Abdul earlier just getting caught in possession, and so you can see the threat if they look to play out from the back. I think a lot of their successes come from trying to play quickly into Robinson, and early on in the game, that could be something that the low risk and put the pressure on the opposition, get the ball in behind them, could be the way forward.
Sometimes having to do it, even with a draw, can take a toll. And a victory to qualify at times can be a blessing in disguise, Brad.
Yeah, I think you always say this as coaches, you don't play for the draw, you play for the win. Worst case, you get a draw to look there.
That's one in a great area. Robinson losing his upper body strength. He's lost possession. Trying to play out from the tight areas. ITBP football team.
Quality বাড়াইছো খানায়
That was heavy. Difficult to control. Nabin Rava finding Pedro, the Spanish craftsman, whose left foot can draw a map on the pitch. Between the lines, a smart ball, Timothy. Heavy touch from Robinson. Tries to play in Timothy. Unable to bring the ball under control.
Yeah, that's what we can see. A lot of the attacks, a lot of the build-up play for Bodoland is going to come through the feet of Pedro.
ফাহা ফাইনালের
Versus
উপর
Spaniard, and Durand is going to
Hello,
have his
hi.
work cut out. He would have done his homework to make sure they can stop the likes of Pedro getting on the ball and dictating play. Because once he gets his head up, he can find those balls into the forwards. And when Robinson gets it onto his favourite left foot, we've seen the damage he can cause with 2 goals already in this tournament. He's certainly been one of the finds in terms of new foreigners in this Durand Cup.
A searching ball inside the box. I tried to divert it goalwards. A looping header from Sri Kumar Kaji wasn't on
Daban
target.
Bajino
A
Delagver.
slight drizzle in the air.
Shoreline.
2 minds on the touchline, 2 visions. On one side, Vikash Panthi, the calm strategist, orchestrating with his precision and patience, and each move measured like the ticking of a clock. The 2 contrasting styles will clash, shaping not just a game, but the very soul of this Durand Cup encounter. Having more of the ball now, Bodoland, Nabin Rava. Man who's played for a couple of ISL sides, tries to find Robinson.
Impressive, especially when teams push up. He looks to play on the shoulders of the last man and looks to get into that space. He's got really good pace and likes to operate down on this right-hand channel, getting away with a little bit of push in the back. Referee giving the corner to Bodoland. Let's see if they can capitalise on it. We saw his ability in the air the last game against Punjab. That will be the obvious target.
Pedro has got the aerial presence inside the box. Too much power on that delivery. And quickly onto the second ball. Another wave developing. This time from the far left. Snatched away by ITBP. Trying to come out of their area. Getting caught into their passing drills. Decent pressure from Bodoland. This Junior. Alongside the 4 foreigners, a few raw talents from the region in their ranks. They've developed a very strong scouting network as well. Robinson, the ball in. Just couldn't adjust his body well enough.
Yeah, good link-up play between Junior and Robinson once again. This time Junior just initially thought he's going to be the provider, playing it out wide to Robinson, who on his unfavoured right foot gets a decent ball in, just slightly behind Junior. Couldn't get the purchase he wanted on that header. But again, early warning signs for ITBP about the threat of Robinson.
And as I spoke about the youngsters, they have developed a very strong scouting network in terms of going out and procuring the right players, Brad.
Yeah, it's a region that's produced a decent number of players over the years, and I think a lot of them, especially at this stage of the season, the likes of Gigi and others and Pranjal, who've been around Indian football for a while, been on the Indian youth circuits, wanted to come back and play for their hometown team. And I think it sets themselves well if they're going to go into the lower leagues and try and make it up to the I-League. They have enough talent, especially when the lower leagues are played all Indian sides. I think there's enough potential in that area where we can match that with other players from the region to put up a pretty strong side that can compete at that level.
Just dropping deep to fetch the ball, Hemraj. Losing out the midfield battle, Petro will dictate play, dictate the tempo of this game. That's wayward. A chance to spread out. ITBP.
Back replacing the sort of inexperience or the younger the back four that they had in the first game. And I think the coach is probably now settled on what is probably his strongest lineup, with Abdul Samad, the Ghanaian, slotting in a centre-back position and allowing to have that control of the back and the distribution from the back. I think this is probably what he's settled in as his strongest side. They did obviously start the tournament with
quality बारायजोबखानाय खालि नेटनि ल' प्रब्लेम जादों आंना
playing as a fullback later on, having been subbed early in the first game. But
quality थिगैनो दं खालि नेटनि
these
थाखायनो
tournaments
मोजां
early on, it's difficult for coaches to know their best 11 until later on in the competition.
And ITBP as well, without their first choice centre-back in Shubhendu Mandi, who picked up a blow in the last game against Punjab. But the way Bodoland played against the Shades, they presented a fortress-like formation. Compact, disciplined,
Subscribe
every player knowing
subscribe
their role like
onuba.
clockwork. The shape was seamless blend of steel and silk. Brad.
Yeah, I think it was really impressive defensively, because in the first minute they could have got a goal down to Punjab, and he thought, okay, this is just a matter of time before Punjab score. But as the game grew, they grew in confidence, and sometimes defending well gives your team confidence, and that certainly was the case on that occasion.
Welcome, Bodo, Romo.
The Group D comes to a boiling point tonight. Bodoland perched atop the summit with 6 points from 2 games, need only a draw to secure their passage to the next stage. A fortress of consistency and
quality
calm under
बारायजोबखानाय
pressure.
खालि नेटनि ल' प्रब्लेम
Behind
जादों
them, ITBP stand poised with 4 points. The hunters in this chase, knowing that only a victory will keep their dreams alive. Nabin Rava, having numbers inside the opposition's territory. A slow passing build-up, looking for those gaps, trying to make a dent in the opposition's defense. Timothy Narsari had a chance to spot that run from Yurjoy Brahma.
MBR 5G खा जोबा खालि नेटल' नाङा
Junior away from one. Junior with a feeble right foot.
आयै
Now you can't blame him for trying, did all the hard work, Junior, in terms of winning the ball, winning it back once he lost possession. And this is where their dominance in possession is giving them a lot more of the ball in the final third.
ITB
Didn't have too many options ahead of him. You can't blame him for taking that shot. Already about 60+% possession for Bodoland. They clearly dominated the ball at the early stages of this game.
Yeah, here they have possession. It's been given away. A stalemate etched in resilience against Punjab in the last game. But the shape was a masterclass in discipline, compact and cautious, which could be broken tonight by this potent strike force of Bodoland FC.
Yeah, I think it'll be slightly different today, their game plan. Obviously, they weren't expecting to have much of the ball against Punjab and had to do a lot of defending and use the width, use the pace up front to Robinson on the counter-attack. But today, I think it'll be expecting them as the home side against a side that probably can make it 3 wins from 3. They will have a lot more of the ball, so looking to see how that changes the way they play, especially the likes of Pranjal and
क्वालिटिया बारायजोबखानाय दा एसे मोनाबायना क्वालिटिया मोजां नुनाय नंला
just rely on Robinson every single attack. So that's going to be the test to see what their development is as a team today.
Here is Robinson. Past the first man, couldn't get past the second. Pedro steps in. Oh, and Pedro from distance. That wasn't too far away.
Yes, speculative from Pedro for distance, but a really good left foot. We've seen that with his range of passing and his set piece delivery so far in this tournament. So again, fancying his chances, we're more than 40 yards away, so don't expect him to really trouble the goalkeeper from that kind of distance, unless you can probably get it to just skip on this surface, because the rain has been coming down. It can make it tricky for the goalkeepers, and the ball just skips in front of them.
खेथ' दानो हायासै नालाय बेहाय नायदो लोगोफोर
The last couple of seasons for
स्किलखौनो
Bodoland
मोनासै
FC
ना
were placed in group F and E respectively. And despite having wins, couldn't make it beyond the
साबस्क्राइब
group
खालामलांबानो
stages.
जाबाय लोगोफोर अनोबा
Chance to put that trend outside of the window.
11 मिनिटल' जादों
Trying to spot that one down the middle, and the keeper saw that and off his mark quickly to smother the ball.
A good early shout from Durand to come out. You could hear that loud shout of keepers. Again, that's just what we were talking about, how the ball's going to skip through off the surface. So any of those kind of through balls, the keeper's alert to it. It's going to be a lot more, it's a lot easier for those to skip through into the goalkeeper's hand than the on-rushing forwards.
And the grand tapestry of Indian football, Bodoland and ITBP have
Goodness,
threads of
Mohan.
passion and pride that run deep beyond the scoreboard. And Bodoland emerging from the heartlands with a spirit as fierce as the landscapes they represent. They have brought renewed hope and a vibrant football culture to a region hungry for recognition.
Yeah, really enjoyed watching Bodoland. I think with the likes of Junior, Timothy and Pedro in midfield.
Thank you.
It's making a nice little triangle and keep the ball. One of the few teams that have actually played a really good brand of football, patient football, which allows their fullbacks like Rabah to get forward and join into the attack. We've seen some of the Shillong sides as well. Really attractive football to watch, the likes of Rangajit and Shillong Lajong. And I think that's another thing that's enjoyable about football in this region is the style of play. The players really like to get on the ball, play attacking football.
Is Yurjai trying to find that room for the cross? Not in real hurry, Bodoland FC. They spend their time on the ball. They know a point enough for them to make it to the quarterfinals. Just not trying to hurry things up.
गोजोननाय थाबाय
But ITBP, a good opening, chance creation, but falters in
गोजोननाय
conversion.
थाबाय दे दिदोमानो
Unbelievable stuff. Surajit Pradhani cannot believe it.
My oh my, that is talk about against the run of play. We were just talking about how well Bodoland keep the ball. On the one occasion they lost it, ITBP. Really knife through butter, a really good counter attack. Won the ball there fortuitously. Once he got into that position, was just bearing down the goalkeeper.
हाबाखै लोगोफोर हाबाखै
He felt he had to go for the shot himself. He was in the best position compared to his teammates.
हाबाखै लोगोफोर
Really should have been
Goal हाबाखै
testing the goalkeeper, putting that in the back of the net. To be honest, it was just asking to be scored.
Absolutely spot on, Brad. That had to be converted. Sri Kumar Kharji putting it wide. A yellow card for Dompo Lang for that reckless challenge. And the skipper who's played for Meghalaya in the Santosh Trophy. A wealth of experience under his belt.
हाबाखै लोगोफोर हाबाखै
Yeah, one of the kids that I've known for a while, came through the Shillong Lajong youth teams. Really promising young player back in the day. I don't think he'll have too many complaints about that kind of a challenge.
Surajit Pradhani making 3 changes tonight. One of them a forced one, with Van Bok starting at centre back ahead of Subhendu Mandi and Wang at right back.
औ एसे थाग्रा जादों खेलाया दिनै
And Hawkip has been introduced on the left wing just to strengthen the attacking force.
I was wondering that. I think Chinke picked up a couple of yellow cards and might even have been suspended. I think a very, very late one in their last game. So not the full strength team because Surajit Pradhani hadn't made any changes in the second game from his first game. So pretty much had a very settled looking starting 11 and had to make changes today. So obviously that's difficult for a side when you look pretty settled in your first couple of games. A couple of forced changes, especially in your defence. I think as they settle into the game, they'll feel that they can pose a threat on the counter-attack. He did it in the last game where he absorbed the pressure of Punjab FC really well. So defensively,
माबायदि नुदों लोगोफोर क्वालिटिया दा मोजां नुगोना नुवाखै
So resolute at the back. Indo-Tibetan border police. Both the sides, in fact, managed one clean sheet.
मोजां नुदोंना
Born from disciplined ranks of the Indo-Tibetan border police embody resilience and unity.
मबाइलखौनो गंथाम लानांगौ जादों गंसेजों जाया नोंसिनि देखायनो थाखायनो
Beyond the boundaries of the pitch.
गंथाम मबाइल दं साइडआव
Hawkip with the run. Keeper had to come out.
Yeah, it's exactly an occasion. It looks like Surajit Pradhan has obviously identified that Abdul could be the sort of weakness in this sort of Bodoland defence because a lot of their attacks seem to be favouring going into him in towards that side of the field. He does have a tendency to sort of overcommit and leave spacing behind. What looks like their strength at times, Bodoland could also be their weakness in terms of why other teams will look to attack.
Simply cannot afford to drop their guard. Can't be complacent. It's Didam Hazawari. Pranjal Bhumij was a live wire down the right wing against Punjab.
Yeah, it's been a live fight, but I think just decision making at times. I think we talk about a player that had a lot of promise back in the day. I remember him scoring an absolute cracker for Mumbai City FC in the Indian Super League, but just hasn't really matured his game over the years. We saw it in the first game where there's a lot of individual play, which you expect to a certain extent from a winger, but just that decision making of when to look for his teammates, when to look to combine, just seems to be lacking. And I've seen a lot more, similar traits once again tonight.
Possession is recovered. ITBP regains his composure. Sri Kumar Kadji has got Yurjoy Brahma to deal with. Goes infield.
हिन्दी खालामजाया हिन्दी खालामजाया लोगोफोर
harassed and hustled.
जागोन बिदिनो होबाय थानो नाजागोन आं टाइम मोनबा
Robinson present
मबाइलखौनो गंथाम गोजों नांगौना बेनिखायनो टाइम मोनबा होगोन मिलायबा
from the left. Desperate defending. They need to up their ante.
बिदि होजाया लोगोफोर बे थावजेन क्वालिटियाव होजाया माने बे डाइरेक्ट जायो
Swiftness and now Pranjal with the curler couldn't get past the first line of defense. Pradipta Biswas was
आं क्वालिटिखौ बारायजोबखाना हाइआव दोनजोबखानाय
That's a little bit better for Pranjal on that occasion. Just looking to get the early cross.
बिदि इउटिउबाव दि भिडिअ नायोना बिदि बारायजाया बे लाइफआ
That was low and hard. The former Northeast United FC man started his journey with Oil India, a club that once competed in the Federation Cup as well.
जाबाय बादे
Now Pedro scanning the area, a very uncharacteristic loose ball.
Yeah, this region has always had pretty strong public sector teams. Oil India, probably one of the all-time sort of consistent teams over the years.
लेपटपा दं खिन्थु एसे प्रब्लेम बे सिङाव नायगासिनो लेपटपजों आं मबाइलाव देखायबाय नोंसिनो
The likes of the ASCB and other teams have played in the borderline. So I've always had a lot of the good teams have over the years have been public sector teams. That's where the players used to gravitate towards. So it'd be good to see if Bodoland can put together a strong side that can compete at the highest level.
Punched away by the goalkeeper. This season, though, they look much more balanced. The first couple of seasons, it was all about haphazard signings of players and coaches, who didn't have prior experience of Indian football. This season, Brad, much more measured. And this was the throw-in from Navin Rava.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the likes of Navin Rava, Pranjal, Gary, these are guys who've been around Indian football for a while, either
Hogan full Hogan nोंसोरनि थाखाय
so they've got makings of a pretty strong team. The big question just is, obviously they look really impressive with the foreign players this tournament. How can they manage without them?
Pedro with an in-swing curler. Keeper had to rush out. Attack is still on towards the danger zone. Pradeep Biswas standing tall. They'll come back once more. Kayari gets the shot away. No problems whatsoever for Yogesh Lama this time.
रायलायनाय दायबा गावसिनि कमेन्टखौ फरायनांगौ जायो नङाबा बोरै जानांगौ जायो
Yeah, Gary, Gigi as he's known as in the Indian youth ranks, did the India under 19s or under 20s the last few seasons, and a really good work rate from him down the wing, and he's one of those players that wouldn't be surprised to see him pop up in one of the I-League teams if Durand don't manage to retain him.
The scales really hang delicately between order and ambition. Bodoland FC, in the last 2 games, disciplined and resolute. They build their fortress brick by brick, while ITBP football team respond with daring raids and quicksilver in attack, bracing for the breakthrough. A slight niggle for the keeper, Yogesh Lama, but in this dance of strategy and spirit, balance is everything. One mistake could tip the fate of Group D forever, Brad.
Yeah, that mistake could be the one that Yogesh Lama just committed. It looked like as he was going to strike the ball, just struck the ground. You could see a big divot coming out as he struck it, and I think he might have injured himself in the process. I think it could be as it could just give them a little bit of breathing time, time to just compose themselves, because they've absorbed a lot of pressure so far. You can see in terms of possession, in terms of shots, everything, it's been one-way traffic. But all that said, the best chance of the game so far have actually landed to ITBP. And there'll be, when you look back at the first half, they could well be 1-0 up, despite having very little of the ball compared to Bodoland.
Pranjal Bhumic urging that run from Junior. Into his stride, Junior pulls it back, shot comes in, just wide. Great build-up from Bodoland FC. In the thick of action, the Cameroonian Junior Nkenge.
Timothy will rue that. That was great work from Junior. Just used his strength to bully the defender off of this ball, and then with all players dragging defenders away, just laid it back in the middle of the goal. It was almost like a penalty distance, and ultimately had to pass it into the ball. Probably went with the wrong foot, going with his left foot. He could have just opened his body up, used his right foot, and just placed that into the goal. So in terms of gilt-edged chances missed by both teams, you could probably say it's 1-1 at the moment.
Timothy just setting that up towards the approaching Timothy Nursery. Deep-lying midfielder getting into scoring positions. A free kick conceded now by ITBP.
Yeah, I think that's in terms of the best chance for Bodoland, and I think Junior's been a lot more impressive today, given a little bit more freedom to get forward, both with the ball as well as running without the ball, getting beyond the strikers. I think that's what's made him more of a threat, because obviously Pedro is going to get on the ball and dictate a lot of the play from the midfield area.
120 goals so far from 35 games. Could be the 121th.
goal हाबबाय
It arrives in style.
Goal हाबबाय लोगोफोर Bodoland FC आ.
He's made amends of that previous chance. It's Timothy Nursery on the score sheet. And the crowd erupts.
जय बर' हारिनि goal हाबबाय. Subscribe खालामलां लोगोफोर अनोबा goal हाबबाय.
from even closer than the chance he just missed moments earlier. Makes absolutely no mistake. Just do exactly what you should do. Head it downwards, and that skip off the surface that we were talking
Goal.
about just made it really difficult
Goal
for Lama to get a good purchase on his hand. I think it just skipped off of his hand into the goal. He got there, but just couldn't keep it out of the goal. Timothy, what better way to make up for that miss just moments earlier to get your first goal of the tournament.
Fourth goal of their campaign. Another peach of a ball from Pedro Astrid. We saw a similar kind of delivery from the corner against Punjab, which was headed in by Robinson. But this time it's Timothy Nursery. The man exceptional when it comes to delivering set pieces.
Yeah, I think you can see ITBP probably a lot of their defenders worried about the threats of Robinson, Junior, Abdul Samad would come up as well, and in amongst all of that, Timothy just snuck in a header from just about 7 or 8 yards away. But I think it deserved, you'd have to say, so in terms of the team that's had more of the chances, more of the clear possession of the ball, has gone and taken the lead.
We
Nó
witnessed
xinh là liệt ra
drama
đấy.
earlier in the day in Imphal, where the home team Trout took the lead ahead till the 86th minute.
Oh,
Then
two kids away.
Navy came from behind and bagged full 3 points to book their place into the quarterfinals. Here's another home team ahead. Will there be a similar scenario here in Kokrajhar, Brad?
Well, I think from a neutral perspective, you hope that the home team can make it all the way. I think it makes it for a really good competition where you've taken a competition and had it in all
Good
these
night, Hawaii.
different host cities all across the northeast and the east of India, and to see a home side who's attracted such
Oh,
a
no,
good
sure,
crowd in
Thagra,
every
Thagra.
single game. That's what you want to see.
차 탐나고 싫어 놓죠.
Kokrajhar is a hot spot for football in Assam.
차브리
The wider
넣었죠.
northeast, drawing large crowds to matches and earning their recognition from the top officials as well. Even the surface upgraded under the vibrant PTR mission to a FIFA-approved surface with modern drainage system, a milestone for northeast infrastructure. You can see the quality of the surface. Brad has been training here since the last 1 week, but the ball rolls so smoothly.
Yeah, let's not forget how many games have already been played on
Live
this,
on air,
the
बिदिनो एसे
last
मोले मोथे
stage
जायो.
game
दसे
at this venue. So the pitch has certainly held up. It looked absolutely fantastic on the first day with the crowd and the sun shining down on the pitch, and it's looked, great in the afternoon fixtures as well, like the Punjab game. And that's what's great to see about it over the years. Sometimes in the past, Durand Cup teams have stayed away from it because of the monsoon conditions, but sure you want to see good surfaces, good football, and lots of goals.
Ran out of space, Prantal Tomic with that injection of pace from the right wing. A very direct attacker. Runs directly at the opposition's defense. Gayari slightly inverted. There he is, twisting and turning. Timothy Nursery spreading it out wide for Yurjoy Brahma.
Oh, दिनै बिराद स्पिड थाग्रा था खेला.
Access denied. Takes help from Nursery. No elevation on the cross. ITBP clear their line.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the way that the different styles of how Bodoland play on either wing. As you mentioned, really inverts himself, comes inside the field, most of the time, and that allows the likes of Woodrow to get around on the outside, give them the width that they need. But I think that's where I just probably expect a little bit more from Gary when he gets inside. He needs to get on the ball a lot more because he's a really dynamic player that loves to take fullbacks on, take the opposition defenders on. Or he can just look to play a little bit closer to Robinson and give them that support so they have a bit more options up front. Because they clearly have a lot of the ball, and when the likes of you've got Timothy protecting that space in front, I think they can afford to be. He needs to try and get on the ball a little bit more.
And ITBP looks slightly impatient. Final third. Got to be patient.
अनला दाउ जादों बे दिनैबो अनला दाउ.
Bodoland looks much
On
measured
la daw.
this evening. Not full throttle attacking. They maintain their shape very well. Invite the opposition to come for the pressing ball. That can open gaps in the center of the park. Half an hour gone here at the Sai Stadium in Kokrachhar. It's Bodoland FC 1, ITBP FD 0. Thanks to that header from Timothy Nursery from Pedro's free kick.
Yeah, entertaining first 30 minutes. The home side clearly having the better of the ball, 63% of the possession, and a lot more shots, 5 shots to 1 against them. But that was really that one chance that did fall for the Tibetan border police. Was a really good chance there. Now, Sri Kumar Karji will be regretting that as we have another look at the goals. Wonderful delivery.
Dose bizi de bara mı canlı normal.
The keeper can't really come for that ball because the way it's just bending towards him. But you know, just 3 players from Bodoland over there. They're marking all wrong. So if it hadn't, he hadn't made the contact there. Timothy, a couple of other players probably ghosting in behind him. And it's difficult for the keeper just recovering from an injury. Skipped in front of him, just couldn't anticipate the right bounce, didn't get the contact he needed on to make that save. But Timothy was in position earlier to score, so I think he probably could be looked at. I think he could have had a brace already.
What do you say? Quality delivery, a poor defending. We'll come back to that. Robinson takes a tumble. Referee not interested. Play continues. Heavy touch and capitalized by the men in pink.
Yeah, I think so. A bit of anything. The delivery is obviously good, but when the balls travel from that kind of distance, sometimes, you know, as a coach, the first thing you question is where was my goalkeeper? If the ball's been delivered from as far as almost near the halfway line, or it was at least 40 yards away, you expect your keeper to have a start position at least 4 yards off his line.
Abdul inside the box. A clever glance into the side netting. No one closing him down, having the freedom of the pitch to carry the ball inside the opposition's half. And not just that, he made his way inside the penalty area as well.
He made his way into the penalty area, got there, the near post, and just felt that one box challenge was a little bit harsh on him, but obviously well within his right, entitled to go there to try and get the clearance in. Another warning sign for ITBP. Eager, the defender, centre back, just playing the ball and just continuing his run forward. And as he got there, it's really tight and acute angle for him to try and get the right kind of contact, even steer it near towards the near post.
Robinson once more. Pranjal provides a helping hand. Central, Timothy. Will he get the return? Blocked off. Here's Kayari on his right foot. Beaten away by Yugesh Lama. The attack is still on though, Pranjal Bhumic. What can he produce? Dispossessed. Dislodged.
It's all one-way traffic at the moment on Bodoland, just wave after wave of pink attacks at this ITBP defence.
And now gets the return, Kayari. Just put behind somehow. He was shaping up for the shot, Brad.
Yeah, it's almost as if Gary heard us in that water break of what we were saying, and it's really changed and doing exactly what we were talking about, getting himself into those positions where he can get into goal scoring position, get the ball onto his right foot. We saw that's what he took in the opening game to get themselves back in against Karbi Anglong, and that's what you want to see. He's that sort of player. Off this, and to see more of that.
Corner taken shot. Subtle variation. Gary once more on the end of it. The delivery not up to the mark. He'll get another bite on the cherry. This time it's lofted, and Pedro was making that run. The referee has pointed to the spot Chance to get the incident's goal. A chaos inside the penalty area.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. It's wave after wave of attack. It's relentless. They clear the first ball. They're so good, Bodoland. They're just almost like ringing around the box to make sure that they get the second ball, get the third ball. When you can get wave after wave of attack, eventually that pressure is going to tell, and that's exactly what's happened. Because Gary just sort of dinked that ball into the box. It looks as if one of the defenders just got himself on the wrong side. And sort of pulled the Bodoland player down, given away. Penalty that's going to make it very, very difficult now for ITBP to get back into this game.
Sloppy defending. This was the pass from Timothy Nursery. And off the ball incident. Robinson. He was nudged. And makes the call.
Penalty.
And Robinson again the crowd.
Ready, habausigan logoफोर.
The Spaniard is ready.
Ready.
Pedro, the provider.
Habauबाय.
Drilled into the bottom corner. The man from Spain.
देरा खाबले
With
देना.
splendor.
habauबाय.
Yeah, that could be
Jai Bodoland.
now for ITBP. The relentless pressure has finally told. They got the penalty for the foul on Robinson, but the man who's been so influential throughout this tournament for
Bodoland FC habauबाय.
metronome in midfield, Pedro, who's been at the heart of all their passing moves, gets some sort of rewards for all his work, not just in this game, the other game. Gets the opportunity to take the penalty, sends the keeper the wrong. Looking into the bottom corner, giving him absolutely no chance whatsoever, and 2-0 now for Bodoland.
Wrapped his boot around the ball. Slots it into the bottom corner, an area even the best goalkeepers can't get there. Even though he did judge it right, but he increased the pace on the ball, Pedro. Unfazed under pressure. Brilliant. Starting for Bodoland FC. Joining them on loan from Jai League side Rajasthan United. He seldom broke sweat with the ball at his feet. So comfortable.
सोबावनांगौ टाइमावबाबो
Assist already for
गड ब्रेक गड
Pedro
सोनांगौ.
Lopez. And you feel now, they really have to try and get something before the half-time whistle at ITBP, otherwise pretty much be talking about Bodoland into the quarterfinals of this year's Durand Cup.
दंबावो टाइम मेरला.
If the game ends this way, Bodoland will make their maiden entry into the quarterfinals. 7 teams already sorted. Battle for the final spot.
लेट जाबाय नोङो अमित दैमारि. गरनै हाबबाय.
Timothy onto his midfield partner. Clever leave from Julia. Huge right round.
नाय खनसेबाबो.
Chip towards Pedro. He's gone slightly advanced.
Yeah, that's what's impressive to see about this Bodoland side, the rotation of their midfield three at the times when
गरसे हाबबाय गरथाम जाबाय.
They rush into a 3-0 lead.
गरसेबावबाय लोगोफोर.
Sarkari this time.
गरथाम जाबाय.
They play like a well-oiled machine.
गरथाम लोगोफोर गरथाम जाबाय.
yeah, what a wonderful goal.
हाला
That was
बिसोरो
an absolute
बिसोरो
brilliant sort of
मोनसे
team
टिमानो
goal. We're just talking about the rotation in midfield. That's why you can see a big
Lagaw.
smile on Vikash Pante's face. To
गरसे
coach those
हाबबावबाय
are the
गरथाम
kind of
जाबाय.
goals that make you yeah, those are the happiest ones for you as a coach. Really, really good football. Look at the number of players from that Bodoland side that touched the ball in that sequence of attack, and ending with a player who's started on the left wing.
गरथाम जाबाय
Exactly what we're
लोगोफोर.
talking about his movement. forward drops short, and he fills the space of Robinson.
Background
and
of
he
the
finished it
Sabri no
as well as Robinson would do. And that's what we wanted to see from this young lad, showing them and fulfilling that potential that the home crowd want to see from Gary.
Net now,
Finished
net.
slotted underneath the goalkeeper. Brilliant move, and that's why coaches are absolutely delighted with that one.
From the banks of Brahmaputra to the heart of Kokrajhar, the night has gathered its people. They have come for a contest, for a decision. Kayari, from the home soil to the glory. We have the first corner of the game for ITBP FK.
दंबावो टाइम दङ मेरला सोबावनांगौ
Can they pull one back? Can they make the score line look respectable?
हाबासै
Now on the rise, it's still on. Bodies behind the ball. Smacked
जिरो
away
गल होथारनांगौ बिसोरखौ
by the team in pink. Pradipta, the outlet on the left hand side. Ignored. Yet again, Bodoland FC stamped their authority. A reverse ball for Pranjal Govic. Pranjal with a step over. Pranjal from a sharp angle. Deflection and out. Corner there for Bodoland.
Really good promise counter-attack from Borderland. They're really turning the screw now on ITBP. I think this is now just going to become almost exhibition type of football from Borderland as they just flooding players forward. I think everyone fancied their chances today to score. Pranjal obviously wanting to join his fellow local hero now, Gigi, who's been on the good score sheet.
Bodoland hungry for more. It's Pedro. An outswinger.
हाबासै
Punched out to safety. Yogesh Lama. Third appearance in the
गोजोननाय
Illinois
थाबाय
World Cup.
बयनिसिमबो जाय जाय साबस्क्राइब
One
खालामदों
clean sheet. And conceded 3
बयनिसिमबो गोजोननाय
so
थाबाय
far in this game.
थेंक इउ
Yeah, it's been a
बयनिसिमबो
tough one for Yogesh Lama. Can't really fault him too much, obviously, for the penalty or the third goal. Maybe question marks in the first one about his start position, but I think it's just the dominance that Borderlands had in the final third.
welcome.
He just hasn't had enough protection from his midfield, and maybe now 3-0 down
Dong
is
bawa mela
too
time
late for the coach to make any adjustment in terms of how they defend. They really have to just throw caution to the wind in the second half. We see even a draw is not going to be enough.
नेट ना होबाय नेट
Pranjal hot on the heels of Lama. Somehow they come away with it. Takes the aerial route, looking to release Hemraj. Too much weight on that
नेट
pass.
जायाखै नेट नेट
Just overawed by the occasion. ITBP football team. They are controlling the game. The likes of Timothy Narsari and Pedro. That's loose. Chance creation. Takes a tumble.
Net jack lego for net.
Same in Thang Haukim. Surajit Pradhani in dismay.
Surajit Pradhani probably thinking, why don't we get a penalty on that occasion? Good try for getting back and doing the defensive work.
जोबाखै एमबी जोबाखै नेट जायाखै
One more surge developing. This time it's Pranjal. Went for placement. Draws a save of Yogesh Lama. Corner for Bodoland.
Yeah, as I'm saying, everybody wants to get on the score sheet. Looks like the wingers have switched sides. Pranjal finding himself on the left, cutting back onto his favourite right foot. We know this boy can score from distance. We've seen him doing it before. No pressure whatsoever, and he's trying to pick that top corner.
थास'जों
Just
बोहैला
to get enough distance away from the goalkeeper in that sort of area where the goalkeeper would like it, and Lama makes a nice save for the cameras.
वेलकम
4
रतन
minutes
स्वर्गयारी
added on to the regulated 45.
अखा बायनाय
Bodoland FC
अखा
ruthless while moving forward.
नेटानो दसे दसेनो
Yellow
नाङा
card has been brandished to the number 25 of ITBP. That's up in the air, an acrobatic hit. Samantha looked interested. And finally it breaks for Yugesh.
एम्बेसिम वेलकाम गोजोन थाबाय नोंसिनिसिमबो जाय जाय नायफैदों आंनि लाइभआव
As the confirmation of the card,
Live.
Bangkok, the
नेट
centre
नाङाखै
back
नेट
goes into the referee's book.
फुल टाइम होगोन नामा दिनै
3 players from ITBP are on the referee's book already. I think that's just a sign of the frustration that they've had and the struggles that they've had in dealing with the attacks of Bodoland.
Hawkim. Can they ask questions of the Bodoland FC defense? That's too high. Trickles out for a throw-in. Vikash Pante will be elated.
सोर गल जाखो आइटिबिआ गल सोनायाखै 0
Making loads of interceptions.
बड'लेण्डआ
Play
गल
with
3
double
सोबाय
pivot in front of the back four to stabilize midfield. And now
बिबुं दैमारि आंबो चिरांनिनो
Pedro
बिबुं दैमारि
almost destabilizing ITBP at the back.
चेनेलानो
Raining
चिरां
down here,
खासबा
it could be raining goals as well
चिरांनि
for
जाखो
Bodoland. It's just wave after wave of attack. Pedro Lopez had 1 assist, scored a penalty, but not done there. He wants another tonight, and I think a lot of
होगोन
players
आं
feel that
फुल
today could
होजोबगोन
be one of those
बल
opportunities
खेलाखौ
to really sort of write their name in, make a name for
दा
themselves.
रायजागोनसो रायलायबाय थाबाबो
That's poor. Kachi in behind.
गल फारा गुफुरनि अ दे दा रायजागोनसो रायलायबाय थाबा
Quite comfortably taken away by Junior. Just not managing to keep hold of the ball for too long. And now spotting the run of Gary. Was he nudged by Bodoland? The referee says nothing doing.
Unfortunate for Don Bodoland, he's on a yellow card already. The referee deemed that. Down to 10 men, 3-0 down and a full 45 minutes to play.
That's a cheap giveaway. Just couldn't get past Van Bok.
फुल टाइम होगोनदां दिनै
A nice diagonal covering on that occasion. Stood firm, the number 24. Was also on a yellow card. And tries that fancy flick, Robinson. That's intercepted. Relentless pressure from Bodoland FC.
हा
And as the first half draws to a close, the tension loosens
हाफ
in
टाइम
the stands. Every touch, every pass, now a whisper. And at the break, they go with a 3-0 lead. With goals from Timothy, Pedro, and Jijomsar Kayari. Complete dominance. The first half has been a one-way traffic, Brad.
Yeah, it's been one-way traffic. Only the first chance actually fell to ITBP. Probably looking back at it, had they scored that, they would have had something to hold on to in this game. But apart from that, it's just been one-way traffic. Wave after wave of attack. It was a +% possession at one stage for Bodoland. Eased off after they scored a couple of goals. But as you can see,
बड'लेण्डआ
from the
सोजोबदों
shots
बड'लेण्डआ
taken, it's just utter dominance in the final third from Bodoland. And they scored 3. They could have had a lot more already in this, and I think we might be in for a lot more goals in the second half.
The first half stats favors Bodoland FC. This is how the game unleashed here at the Sai Stadium in Kokrajhar. The last game of the group stages of the 134th edition of the Indian Oil Cup. And it kicked off Bodoland FC taking on ITBP football team for a place in the quarterfinals. And the men in pink aggressive right from the offset.
Yeah, aggressive from the side. You can see the link of play between Junior and Robinson. They really are coming up today. But, it's only be a matter of time before one of those two trouble the other corner for them. Really impressive as well. Is shooting good on this scoreboard, making you have to get challenges in and make it difficult, but eventually the first two tell it to give away free kicks and you defend properly, get mark, and this is what happened. Timothy missed moments earlier, made absolutely no mistake.
This was the moment of magic. Timothy Nursery beating Lama at his front post. A brilliant ball in from Pedro. This was the penalty.
Hello guys, support kalam.
Robinson. Pradipta bundled him over. And from the spot, back to Astrid. Scoring his first goal in the Indian Oil Durand Cup. At that stage, Bodoland FC in complete control with a 2-0 lead, and then Chijamsan Kayari scoring his second goal of this campaign to extend the scoreline and make it 3-0, squeezing it through the legs of the advanced Yugesh Lama. Bodoland FC on song. And the break is BDFC 3, ITBP 0. Join you shortly after the break. Stick around.
And its biggest logistics operator. It is India's first cellular enterprise.
The most advanced technology firm in India also happens to be the country's best construction company. And its biggest logistics operator. It is India's first cellular enterprise. India's finest hospital group. Oh, and before we forget, India's largest network of educational institutions. One of the 10 largest employers in the world.
रडे लोगोफोर आं दानथ'नो गोदान होफिनगोन आङो